This mismatch created arbitrage opportunities, which banks and central banks capitalized on. They held a monopoly over fast, long-distance value transfers, utilizing paper and telegraph communication to update each other's ledgers with minimal need to ever physically send and verify actual gold. In 1875, William Stanley Jevons published a book titled Money and the Mechanism of Exchange. Similar to my 2023 book, Broken Money, Jevons explored the history of money and the technological advancements surrounding it. He highlighted that thanks to the telegraph and other rapid communication methods, transactions could frequently occur with minimal reliance on physical metal. The global financial system was gravitating towards centralization, particularly around London, where bankers could efficiently transact through a centralized clearinghouse. Jevons also recognized the substantial risks accompanying this growing efficiency. He emphasized that there are approximately 20 times more claims for gold than actual gold reserves. He cautioned that bankers should never forget that these fractionally reserved claims essentially represented promises for gold, even though they were rarely redeemed as such. Even if just 5% of people simultaneously demanded their gold, the system would crumble. Fast forward 4 decades, and this scenario unfolded during World War I. The era of European peace came to an end, leading to money printing for wartime purposes and widespread defaults on gold redemption within a heavily leveraged financial system. Taxing for wars is unpopular and can lead to revolts and revolutions by the people. So, governments often turn to currency dilution and other less transparent methods to pay for them. In earlier centuries, when governments aimed to debase their currency for war financing, the process unfolded slowly. There is no swift method to diminish the value of coins held by people. Instead, it required taxation, melting, reminting, and reintroducing lower quality coins into the economy. However, in a scenario where individuals predominantly hold deposits and paper claims backed by gold stored in central bank vaults, the ability to sever gold redemption becomes a matter of a stroke of a pen, allowing for the rapid printing of vast amounts of money. Governments were no longer restricted by the quantity of gold in their reserves. They could continue fighting until they depleted the liquid savings of their entire citizenry. The second period of the modern financial era unfolded after World War II and extended until 1971. During the war years, gold pegs collapsed worldwide, with some nations even outlawing gold ownership for their citizens. Following the war, most countries, except the United States, faced severe devastation. So, the United States, representing over 40% of the global economy, assumed a central role in a new international financial system. In 1944, as the Allied forces neared victory, representatives from 44 countries convened in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to design the future global financial system. Britain advocated for a system centered around a neutral reserve asset called a banker, while the United States pushed for pegging all currencies to the dollar, with the dollar itself tied to gold. The US proposal prevailed, leading to the establishment of what we now recognize as the Bretton Woods system. Under this system, it remained illegal for Americans to own gold, and they couldn't redeem dollars for gold, but foreign central banks had that privilege. The creation of the World Bank and International Monetary Fund followed the Bretton Woods Conference, serving as key components for enticing, enforcing, and regulating the system. Once again, the Achilles heel was fractional reserve banking. Between 1950 and 1970, the number of dollars in circulation tripled due to bank lending and government deficits, even as U.S. gold reserves diminished through foreign redemptions. Offshore dollars further multiplied, essentially forming one fractional reserve system on top of another. By the late 1960s, it became evident that the system was destined to fail, prompting President Nixon to terminate gold redeemability in 1971. The third and current era of the modern financial system commenced in the 1970s, following the collapse of the Bretton Woods system. After 1971, the world found itself in an entirely unbacked monetary system, marking a significant departure from previous eras. While governments could compel their citizens to use currency for domestic transactions, the challenge lay in trusting other governments' unbacked ledgers for global trade. During this period, The United States still held the world's largest economy, military power, and global dollar network effects from the Bretton Woods era. In 1974, the Nixon administration struck a deal with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, requiring that Saudi Arabia would exclusively sell its oil in dollars, accumulate dollar surpluses, and invest those surpluses in U.S. government bonds as reserves. In return, the U.S. would offer lucrative arms deals and military protection. This practice extended to other OPEC countries, giving rise to the petrodollar system. And for a substantial period, almost all global energy trade was denominated in dollars. Throughout these three eras, the gold standard, where nations supported their currencies with gold reserves, the Bretton Woods system, characterized by the United States' substantial gold holdings and other countries pegging their currencies to the dollar, and the petrodollar system, where the US dollar and US government bonds serve as the pillars of global trade, one can see a gradual shift toward two defining features: centralization and abstraction.